Yay, we're live.
Hello and welcome to an episode of Tabletop Otaku streaming on the Origins Game Fair Twitch channel. I am your host, B Zelda. My pronouns are they, them, and I am joined by not only a fantastic human, not only a hard-ass dedicated worker, but an individual I would like to call my friend, Imani. How are you doing today?
Hello, I'm fine. Thanks for having me. I'm actually looking for the Twitch. I realized that I tweeted the thing, but then didn't actually open the link, and then I closed it. And now
I hope you operate your regular life with about 5 monitors.
Like, I have 3. And actually, I almost had 4 today. I almost put a 4th monitor up, and then I went, no, don't be like that.
Oh my goodness. So how are you doing today? And for folks who don't know you, tell me a little bit about what you do.
Oh, sure. Hi, I'm Imani. Something weird's gonna happen with my light for a second. I don't know if hi, I'm Imani. I make tabletop RPG games and board games and visual novels, and if you can write it, I have tried it, and this includes radio dramas and plays.
Ooh, damn. That's
I know.
fantastic. So out of all that experience, like I know you mostly for tabletop games.
Yes.
I had the privilege of playing
It's dangerous to go alone. Take
yes, yes. I'm like, was it the exact quote? It was the exact quote.
I went and looked it up and made sure it was the exact quote. I was like, no, I'm gonna get this right.
Makes me so happy. If I were ever to get like text tattooed on me, that's what it would be.
I have text tattooed on me.
And is that what it is?
No, it's it's like actually no, it's a Fall Out Boy quote in another band.
That's fantastic. Who's the other band? I have to ask.
State Champs. The line is, I'm finally acquiring the state of mind everything's gonna be all right. It's from my favorite song.
I love that. So you were an emo kid in high school.
Was? That's a funny statement as the Dance Gavin Dance playlist I was listening to before this moment.
I remember them.
I'm going to see them on Saturday. Like, okay, I'm COVID vaccinated, first off. It is a closed show. You have to prove that you've been vaccinated and have a test 72 hours before the show. Yeah.
Solid. Respect. Also, yeah. I didn't know they still made music. That's pretty telling.
I saw them live before COVID. I bought their new live album that they were going to put out during COVID, but then COVID happened. I'm still an emo kid. Like, nothing changed.
I love that. So, like, if you still listen to a lot of the same music as you did when you were in high school, are there shows like anime that you still would rewatch, and that still hold up for when you were in high school? Because that's also
very few of them hold up. The 90s were a time. It was a choice that we all made, and we all look back and go, some of these weren't good choices. But like a lot of them still do. Like Gundam Wing still holds up. It's a little weird sometimes because I'm just like, not the show itself, but my understanding of the show.
Okay.
Because
I haven't watched it as an adult.
Oh, so Hulu bought the rights to like all of them at one point, like 2 years ago, and so I watched it in like dubbed. No, I watched it dubbed because I tried to watch it subbed because I really saw it subbed on Toonami. I can't listen to it in Japanese. Like, I don't understand.
Watching it, yeah, dubbed as well. I watched it on YTV. That was our Toonami.
I was right. You're Canadian.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, because like I know we had at some point or another we got Disney XD or something, which apparently was Canadian. I was very confused. Like everything on Disney XD, no, not Disney XD is what all the Canadian shows ended up on. I don't know why. It was like Disney's version of here has international shows.
And they're never as good.
Well, no, Cyber 6 is great. Is it 6 or 9? I think it's 6 or 9. I can't remember.
Can't speak on that one.
Oh my. Okay, so no, I'm gonna put it in chat because I think about it all the time. I feel like everyone saw it and everyone kind of remembered. Oh, that's why I'm gay. And then we go, where is it? Everyone. I promise you, we all watch. It's 6. It is 6. I'm gonna put the Wikipedia page in it because you just need to read the Wikipedia.
Oh my god! Wait. Canadian show, is this the one about the woman in black and she has like the really gorgeous hair and then she's like a professor in the morning? Oh my god.
That is it. That is the reason.
My god. I loved that show growing up. I wanted to be her and be him at the same time and I didn't understand why.
So you're looking at it going, yes, this explains so many things.
Oh my goodness. I forgot all about that show. That was one of the very few things, like in terms of like good television that came out of Canada in that time. We had a lot of weird stuff
Argentina
in the 90s.
Yes, Canada, but technically Argentina because the creators are from Argentina.
They made like the graphic novel.
Yeah, they wrote the comic that became the show.
Yeah.
It was I remember the show because I watched it as a kid, first off, but then in the 2010-ish time, someone I knew on LiveJournal changed their icon to it, and I was like, what is this? Every time I saw them, and it was just like, oh, and then like every time I saw them, I'd be like, oh yeah, that show exists, because they would pop in and out of places that like I shared spaces with them. Yes, LiveJournal. That's a whole listen.
Oh yeah, no, hey, we're talking from our time. Our time is still very specific, but we can encapsulate it quite well.
Yeah, LiveJournal was a thing that happened in my life. It's okay.
Oh, I love that though. So 90s anime, what else stood out to you? What else has kind of inspired some of the work that you do now?
Shock. Okay, so it's mostly been Gundam Wing, to shock and surprise of no one, considering this tattoo on my arm. Actually, wait, I hit my microphone. Can I do the thing? I don't know how my camera works. I'm bad at directions. Sorry, I'm bad at directions.
I can't quite see it.
I don't know why I'm standing up, like I just can't do this.
Oh my god, that's even better. Hell yes.
I always forget how to turn.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Sailor Saturn.
Yeah.
It says, actually, I love how I'm thinking about this, like I don't actually remember. Fight like a girl, girls will save the world. It was my first tattoo.
Oh my goodness, that was a big ass tattoo for your first one.
It was. The lady who did it was like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yes." And she's like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Listen, I've been wanting this for like the last 10 years. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting."
In my mind, you were like 16 years old getting that tattoo. No, so you waited until you were 20 odd something.
I'm 31 now, so it's 27.
Okay, no, that's get whatever the hell you want on your body at that age.
I couldn't find someone who would do it the way I wanted it. Like I had a very specific idea in my head of what I wanted.
Choice.
Yeah, it was like, and for a while I flip flopped on what I wanted as like the style of, like I wanted more realistic to Sailor Moon, or like more like cutesy because I like cute things.
Yep.
So.
Have you consumed any of the new Sailor Moon that's on Netflix? And like
yes and no. Yes and no.
I haven't done it yet.
It's not good. I mean, phrase that. It was not good. I have heard it got better because they got a budget to spend and make it better. But I used to follow, speaking of weird times on the internet, there was a Tumblr blog that specifically existed to point out the frame accurate ways that show was bad.
Oh,
like
wow.
Frame by frame, like, hey, this frame is out of focus. Like literally, it is out of focus. Or this frame is the same. It is like they did like the transformation sequence for a while was like the same 4 frames repeated, and you could tell. And like it wasn't even like, okay, we're not getting on you for like repeating frames. We're getting on you for repeating frames in a way that's so blatantly obvious that
company ended up doing this show. I feel like now
I feel like the same people just still do it. I don't know who it is though. But what happened was, in my opinion, in my unknown, I don't work in that particular brand of media opinion, was it came out as a 25th anniversary reboot as like a vague cash grab, and then they realized, oh wait, people will be mad at us if it's not good, and then realized that they had to make it good. Like we won't make money.
Animation still.
Yeah, okay, it's the same people.
That makes sense. They're not.
Yeah, I mean, but it got better. But the thing about it is, we knew that they could do better, and then they did do better.
They have done better. Look at how well One Piece is doing now in terms of animation.
Okay,
you
could see the moment when it got good. You're like, oh, they stopped. They started doing like it's taking their time, realizing that.
Same for Dragon Ball Super. Same story. They didn't have a great budget in the beginning, and then eventually it got better because like fight scenes, you notice when it's bad, or like magical girl transformations. If you're using the same 4 scenes, everybody's gonna notice, or we're not gonna be impressed.
Literally, you could count the frames of her wand turning and be like, oh, this is when it repeats. That's how and it's just like, so I haven't watched it since it first came out because I was gonna give it a shot. I wasn't a fan of I like Sailor Moon. I watched Sailor Moon in the 90s. I read the manga like 5 years after.
Okay.
Because it wasn't licensed when I was a kid, or it was, and then they lost the license, and then Viz picked it up, or Tokyo Pop had it. I don't remember what happened. Tokyo Pop no longer exists.
Yeah, I remember the name though, which is wild, but yeah.
Huh?
I remember that name, Tokyo Pop.
They
That
did a
sounds
bunch. They
familiar
did
to me.
Gravation. They did Kadachi. I keep saying Kadachi, but that's not the name of that series. I don't actually know what the name of that series is. It's about a girl who's she's a child star, and there's a boy in her class who's an asshole. And like, they're like in elementary school, like, you know, he's like a violent little kid. But it turns out he's a violent little kid because his family's violent, because he not accidentally. His mother died in childbirth, and his family blames him. So they're like wildly abusive to this child, and he takes it out on all his classmates. And so the main character takes it upon herself to like fix him. She's like, no, this is not how we respond to things. And it becomes like this cute little thing. I have the first volume because my mother, when I was a child, said, "Oh, you like Japanese things? I'm going to buy you 3 random."
That is so cute, though. You know, she didn't. She just looked at the title and like the cover page and was like, "This one's cute. This one has kids.
This one has kids," which is how I ended up having Mars, which I shouldn't have had as a child.
Mars. I'm not familiar with that. I'm gonna look this up while you tell me a bit about it.
No, Mars is the one where I don't know any. So, fun fact about me: except for like shows I watched repeatedly, I know no characters' names. I just have a vague description of what they did.
Is the main character? No, it's romance. Okay.
Yeah. So the main character is this little girl who, I forget how it happens, but the main romantic character, I forget how they meet. Like, I remember her falling, but I can't remember if someone pushed her or she tripped. But she falls into him. They end up becoming friends. She's like, he asked her, "Hey, how can I pay you back for helping with whatever this thing is?" And she goes, like, really shy, "Can I draw you?" And they end up becoming friends. And he like drives a motorcycle or whatever. But it turns out like there's like a dead brother involved, and a twin, and a stalker. And oh, by the way, her stepdad molested her, and that's why she's so miserable and shy. And I was like,
you're like this little 9-year-old, just like you wanted to read about like Gundams. I was at least
12. I was at least 12.
Okay. I mean, still, that's not the kind of media that you want to consume. But like again,
my mother was just like, "Oh, boy meets girl," because the first volume is very cute. It doesn't get weird for a while. Like in the beginning, it like if Mars is like 20-something volumes, it gets weird about like 9 or 10. So you're in it for like you're there, and then the back half of it is dealing with the weird, and you're just like.
Damn, I like that though. I have to ask. So obviously you've read a lot of manga, which I love to be able to have conversations about with folks. You know, because I mean, we call this tabletop otaku, and like we tend to really focus on anime because that's what's popular and that's the it's in the spotlight right now. But like I grew up reading Shonen Jump.
I think I either just gave them away.
Oh my god!
But I had volumes. I had 2009 to like 2012 every issue, and I just finally said to myself, "No, I'm lying to you. I still have them. They're somewhere over there." It's New Type. No, it's New Type USA. It's New Type USA that I was like, okay, I'm never gonna reread these magazines about anime that was coming out in 2009. Like I don't like. I pulled all the posters out of them. Like I took all the DVDs. I'm not gonna like. I can let it go now. But I gave it to my friend, who's a teacher, because she was doing a scrapbook project. So I'm like, here, let the kids look at like 90s anime, because that's a cool thing nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, one of the covers was like
retro.
Yeah, it's like one of the covers was for the announcement of Gundam Seed. Like
Gundam
that's how
Seed, which was
the bad one.
I didn't like it.
No one liked Gundam Seed. Everyone lies to themselves. I can rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. Everyone who watched Gundam before Gundam Seed does not like Gundam Seed because we recognize it inferior to every other series prior to that, including the really racist G Gundam.
Yeah, I forget that one exists.
I don't forget that one exists ever because it's like when I was a child in school, we were nerds. We used to run around screaming burning fingers at one another and like grabbing each other in the face.
Oh, I love that though. I assume you didn't know any better. You're just into it, you know?
No, we knew better. We did it anyway because it was funny. It was funny. Like, surprise! It's fingers in your face. like little fingers, like little kids' fingers that are barely big enough to reach your whole head, and we're just doing like in middle school.
Oh my goodness!
So no, that's burned into my memory.
Yep.
And Hulu got the rights to Gundam, so then I went back to rewatch it, and I went, "Wow, this is really racist."
Yeah,
but like equal opportunity racist, like everyone except for Japan. Japan is fine. Everyone else though, stereotype. Actually, I guess the Karate Kid thing, like, oh, I know martial arts thing for Japan, kinda, but
it's still not. Yeah, no, it doesn't do
literally
anything
everyone else. Like it's bad, but like everyone else is worse.
So what manga that you've read have like directly inspired a lot of the work that you've done? Like, tell me a little bit about some of the games that you've written too, and like what those inspirations came from.
So obviously I made It's dangerous to go alone. Take this. Even though technically it's a video game, there is an anime and a manga for it.
I own the entire set, the manga. I love it. It's weird as heck.
All of Zelda, if you think about it for too long, is weird. All of it is weird. Like, oh yeah, you washed up on a beach. This strange old man hands you a sword and says, go fight things.
Yep, and you're like, all right, old man, I got this.
How old is Link? What's going on? Like, where did you come from? Do you have parents?
Proper care? No, he never had
Did you
parents.
look at his head? Did he have a head wound? He washed up on the beach repeatedly, and you just...
We're not worried about concussed children. Just give them a sword and send them on their way. Somebody will eventually defeat evil.
And somehow we know you're the chosen one.
You're the one going through that playthrough. Do you have a favorite Zelda game? Like,
No, wait. I always say that it's not Link to the Past. It's the one where you go. A Link Between Worlds was the remake. It's the one, it's the Super NES one where you go like it's the regular world and then there's the other world and the map changes and gets like dark. It's not a Link to the Past. It's Link's Awakening, maybe. I always confuse them.
I don't think I ever beat Link's Awakening. I struggle with that one. Zelda games were so hard.
No, that is true. Okay, so fun fact, for a long time, I didn't play video games. I watched other people, mainly my older brother and my older cousin, play them as I, like, read the guidebook explaining what was going on. Like, this is back when we used to print out, like, the thing from, like, not Game Escape, whatever that site was, where someone would write a walkthrough and, like, they had, like, the giant signs that they made up. Yeah, something like that.
I love that.
Yeah, so Link's Awakening is the one with the Bow Wow Wows in it. Link's Awakening is the one with the Bow Wow Wows in it, which is the dog on the chain that chases you if you get too close.
Which is
in
like
another game, which you give him a bow, he stops yelling at you because apparently that's all he wanted.
Yep.
And so Link to the Past is the one where you switch between the worlds.
That's what I thought,
that's my favorite one.
Okay.
I like Seasons in Time as well for Game Boy Color, but that's because I had a Game Boy Color for the longest out of like all the handheld systems I've ever owned. So it's like indoctrination. Don't know any. I'm mad because I don't actually. Speaking of Game Boy Color, guess what I found in my house?
Nice Pokemon. Is that Pokemon Red? Yes. I see a Charizard. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you know what? Somewhere in my house there's a Game Boy Color that I can see if this works.
Oh, fantastic.
I haven't, but I'm gonna want like eventually. But no, so in terms of games, I made a game called Magical Girls in Mecha. It is exactly what it says on the tin.
I need to know about this.
Literally, huh?
I need to know more about this.
So someone on Twitter, whose name I'm now forgetting, but I have it saved in like a pinned another tweet. It's Cure something. I can't remember the rest of their username. Was talking about how magical girls and mech pilots have the same plot line. Like they're, generally speaking, they start off as like nobody people. They are suddenly gifted with a power to save the world, and then they emotionally or physically traumatized, and no one seems to care. But it's okay because they saved the world. And look, they get whatever spouse person that they need for most Gundams, or at least original Gundam.
Gotta throw some politics in there, be it school politics or global politics.
So, like,
and then
Gundams get global politics.
Yep.
Sailor Moon gets like international politics between them and the Moon and the Dark Moon Kingdom and all that jazz. And like high school politics because like Molly, and there's like Molly, the deal with Molly falling in love with Zoe, who's like goddamn adult, but I'm not really sure anyone's age in that show sometimes. There's a lot of confusion to me about how old people are in Sailor Moon, because I know she's in middle school. And
not
then
okay between her and what's his name.
Well, here's the thing. So someone pointed out to me that he's in high school when they meet. She's in junior high and he's in high school. We misunderstood, we as Americans, that you apply to high school in Japan. And I was like, wait, what? I was like, is he applying to high school or college? It's never explained. Also, apparently kids having dead parents and living alone, totally normal for high schoolers. So I'm like, how old are you? What's going on? Because Amy also lives by herself. Her mom's a doctor. Her mom is never around. No one ever questions it.
Is it an anime if there's not dead parents? Tell me one show where there's no dead parents. Give me one.
As much as I hate it, Madoka has both her parents alive.
Damn it. But that's part of like what makes it funny too, because there's so much other horrible things and other aspects of the show. Like
everything else about the show. I mean, no, I have there are very few things I will say that I have like a random hate boner for, but I actually watched Madoka and went, yeah, no, I don't like this. And not even because it's sad. Like that's not even the point of it. I feel like it missed the point of what a magical girl show was. Like the actual like premise of, hey, bad things will happen, but it's okay because you have your friends, you have like maybe your Sailor Moon's parents aren't dead. Serena's parents are both alive for the entire series. Yeah, her mom has like purple hair, and you never see them except for in like the first season. But she is alive. She's a brother named Sammy in the American dub. I don't know his actual name in the series.
That I completely forgot about. Oh my goodness.
Because you see them in the first episode. Her mom says, "Hey," that's how the show starts. Her mom yelling at her, "Hey, you're gonna be late." Serena, wake up.
Yep.
And you come down and her brother's always teasing her for being not good at school.
I'm thinking of other ones too, like Ash Ketchum. His mom's still alive.
Dad is Giovanni, probably. We don't ever know. It's a mystery.
I think it's Professor Oak.
I feel like Professor Oak is like his dad. Like I feel like so in my like I very briefly was in Pokemon fandom, like reading fanfic for Pokemon, which is mostly just either it's a weird like it's mostly like Ash Misty stuff and then like self-insert like I want to be a Pokemon trainer stuff. There's no real in between in that fandom. At least it wasn't like 10 years ago.
That's what it was, just like the trio of Ash, Misty, and Brock.
Yes. Like, also, another weird thing to show. How old is Brock? Why is he taking care of 8 children? What's going on there?
Inappropriate. So egregiously inappropriate. And I laughed at that as a kid. Well, I thought it was funny.
Yeah. Well, the thing about Pokemon and Brock was he would hit on like Nurse Joy, Jenny, and like every other woman, and they would all turn them down. But like he was never like having. I still sometimes watch current Pokemon. I'll just be on and be like, oh, okay. He like turns them like they turn him down like either violently or politely. He just goes, "I'm gonna admire you from afar." Like he doesn't keep pushing it. Like it's like a theory thing. Like I want you to respond to me. You respond no. Okay, I'll wait for the next Nurse Joy. Mind you, he seems to think of them all as the same person, and that's a whole separate problem. But like in terms of pushing boundaries, they say no. He says okay. He's sad about it. He cries. He definitely whines about it. But there's no like, it's not like say My Hero Academia where like everyone else is laughing at it because oh Mina's funny. No, it's not funny to grab little girls' boobs. It's not funny that you're only want to be a hero so you can be around girls. I don't understand that show. I do understand the show. I don't understand the character specifically because everyone else
read about like what the author said about like Horukoshi. He really thought he was a necessary character because like this is the kind of trope that has to be fulfilled, and without Mineta, the show wouldn't be the same.
Yeah, no, I feel like someone told me he said that, and like you don't like I understand the words that you're saying because yes, there are set tropes that exist in shonen anime. You, however, don't have to follow them. You can do something different. You don't have like just because the rules have been written. Like even fine. You had to have him in the beginning. Then you could have expelled him. That would have been the point to make. But you kept him around. You could have just written him out of the series. Like there's enough characters in that show. If someone left, no one would notice.
Are you caught up on the manga at all?
No, I'm a person. Yes, I know what happened. I don't give a flying. Am I allowed to curse?
Yeah.
I don't give a flying fuck. So you're gay, you're bi, you're still a predator. You still should stop touching people. It's not appropriate, no matter liking the same gender does not make it okay for you to inappropriately touch anyone. It's like gay men saying, "Oh, I can grab your boobs because I'm gay. I don't care about your boobs. I don't care. Stop touching me." Like I don't understand it. And part of me says there's the whole cultural difference that I just don't get. And then there's but someone told you were aware this is a problem in your country and you still did it. And you kept doing it.
Continuing it. Yep. You're encouraging it.
You're not trying to fix it. Like you're like if like every other character in the show called him out on it every single time. They'd be like, yes,
it'd be fantastic. Yeah, then it would be funny.
Like, if he responded and all the other hero students in the school said no.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. That's not your behavior. And they try to correct his behavior in the series. It would be different. But like it is literally just played for laughs. The only character in that show I think who ever said anything was Ashido. And that was after the tournament where he tried to make them in a cheerleader outfits, I think.
I had respectfully forgotten about that part.
Actually, no. The little boy from the mountain episode, whose parents are the Warhorse, he kicks him in the face. Yeah. That's the only time I think anyone ever calls him out on it. And I'm like, I don't. Like, so you're aware it's wrong.
Done incorrectly. It's like that masculine sense of pride that I have to protect these women because they can't protect themselves, even though they're literally heroes.
The kid said, but like. I just remember thinking, that's the only. Actually, no. He kicks him because he doesn't like heroes. That's why he kicks him.
Is that okay? I know that little boy is violent for a while.
He's like really violent because his parents were heroes and they died, so he thinks all heroes are terrible. And he points to me as an example of all heroes are terrible. Like, look how he acts. So he kicks him in the face. Then I am thinking about it like for like a hot second. It's Mr. Mime.
He pop into chat. I love that. Well, let's go back a little bit to Gundams versus
Girls and Mecha. It is a combination of there's a show called Yuki Yuna is a Hero, which I didn't actually finish watching for various reasons. I just didn't finish. But the plot is she starts playing this phone game, and she becomes it's like a test to become a magical girl. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking, what if the way you were gifted a mecha, like you're a teenage girl, a middle school girl, whatever, because for this game you can be anywhere between the ages of middle school and college. Once you graduate from college age, it's you become a mentor because you've lived long enough to be like, hey, I'm an adult now, I can help you. There are adult characters in this who will help you, unlike others. It's so weird that, that's a whole separate sending kids off to war and pretending it's okay thing.
Naturally.
All the time, every time. And I'm always just every show it does it, I'm I know this is bad. I understand that My Hero Academia is hella problematic in the sense that these are not even teenagers. They are they're high school students.
They're 14 years old.
But they want to do
and yet they're gonna save the world and fight these 40-year-old men.
And the thing about it is too, in My Hero Academia is they acknowledge that there are adult heroes in the world. Yep. But somehow this is still this particular class's problem. You didn't just call in every other hero in all of Japan and say fix this shit. I don't I understand. He doesn't think for 5 seconds about long-term consequences of his actions in any way, shape, or form, or he would have asked for help from literally yes, I have an ultimate evil bad guy who almost killed me that one time. No, but I'm not gonna tell anyone about him.
That's classic, any kind of television. There has to be that one vital piece of information that is
no, he told no. There's 3 people in the entire series when the series starts.
Except that there's more than 3. I just finished Anime Attaché and rewatching the first season of My Hero Academia for the 5th time now.
I'm sorry.
All Might has told so many people, but he still insists only 3 people know about my secret.
No, not the secret of his powers. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about One for All. No, All for One. I can't remember. No, whatever his villain is. Only 3 people know about the villain part.
Yes. Oh, that's a really good point. I might have overestimated that.
Yeah, yes, my power he talks about all the time, but the guy who almost killed you should probably mention that to literally every person you ever meet. Help, I almost got murdered by this dude. He can do X, Y, and Z. He's several thousand years old. I don't,
maybe share that piece of vital information.
The fact that he told other people and then they didn't tell other people, oh, it's a secret, we can't tell anyone. No, you should tell everyone. He killed 9 other people that you know of. At least 9 other people.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Anyway, so the point is, there are helpful adults in this series.
Yeah, helpful adults. That's what we were doing.
Helpful adults who make good, solid choices. And they don't just abandon you. There's an entire a 2 government system in this series in which you can either be an independent contractor or you can work for the government. Hey, pick a side. The government wants to use magical girls to do government things, and then it's no, I don't need the government to back me. Here are all the other who will help me be independent from the government. Okay. And they have a Cold War neutrality towards one another. No, we don't want the teenage girls fighting one another, so we're just gonna the adults will just be Cold War mean to one another.
Yeah.
They would so they do joint missions, which is one of the games that I wrote, is a joint mission where they all have to go off and do a thing. But it's hey, you're a middle school to high school age girl. You have a phone game. You win it in a gotcha machine, one of those little I love gachapons. It's real bad.
Addicting.
It's so I understand. It's gambling. I know it's gambling, and it doesn't stop me.
That's cute.
But I get cute things. I always win. It's not gambling because you don't need those things. But I won a thing.
Never need them.
But in this game, you win. In my game, when you play the gachapon, if you win, you then get a key fob that opens a door. And the door in this particular case opens what's that show? I'm always really bad at this reference. There's a show where there's a giant magical key that opens a door. It has a really cool animation to it. But the important part is this door opens a key of another universe, and it gifts you with a.
Okay.
But it's.
I'm gonna Google it. Go ahead.
The key gives you an open door and gives you a mech. and if Mech is now your Mech companion to help you save the world. And then you go, save the world from what? There's nothing bad happening. So about that door you just opened. Probably shouldn't have done that because there are things on the other side that
comes through. Was it Fairy Tale?
It might have been. It also could have been Black Clover. It could have been Black Clover. I couldn't remember.
Maybe? Okay. I refuse to finish watching Black Clover.
I hate watch Black Clover. I hate watch Black Clover.
I don't enjoy having young children shouting in my ears that like I'm watching voluntarily. Like if I'm watching somebody's child, I get it, but
yeah, he's very enthusiastic in a weird kind of shonen protagonist way, and I feel like they lean into it. Like I feel like they knew it was annoying, and then people complained about it, so they leaned into it. Like they just thought. But the thing about me and Black Clover is, I don't seem to understand what the plot is. Like I just don't know what's going on ever. Like what is the end? What is the end goal of the show? But like One Piece has an end goal. The end goal to be the Pirate King. Dragon Ball Z has an end goal for Chi-Chi to have her husband not be dead. Like,
I'll she was.
Because the thing about it is, because Dragon Ball was very specific. They had a specific wish.
Yes.
That's why Bulma goes and meets Goku and meets I'm gonna call him Yamaha, but that's not his name. Yamcha. He's so useless. I forgot his name. He's always dead. He's always dead. Okay.
He's always dead. He's got that pose.
That's where he lives. Like Dragon Ball had a plot. Like there was a thing, and Dragon Ball Z, to an extent, had a plot. Like the first season of Dragon Ball Z was Vegeta shows up and tries to kill them.
Yeah.
Well, no, so right, this Radix comes and kidnaps the kid because they need the kid because he has a tail. Then Vegeta comes to avenge Radix, and then Frieza's a thing because they killed Vegeta, and then Cell comes because time travel. Like there was like a progression of bad choices that led to more bad choices to that time they continue to fight. Because really, I feel like Dragon Ball Z, every time they're trying to just finish this damn martial arts tournament, like every time, and then something happens, and then
right after Cell was the martial arts tournament, and then there was Majin Buu.
Every time they just want to finish the. They're just like, hey, we're in this fighting game. We would like to fight and win and see who's stronger. Like that's the whole plot of that thing.
Have you ever written a game based on Dragon Ball Z? And I only ask selfishly because like I love mechas, I love magical girls, but I also love men shouting for hours on end to get stronger.
No, I haven't. But I wouldn't, if I did, it would be more Dragon Ball than Dragon Ball Z and be less men shouting and more be questy.
Okay, I like that.
It would be like Bulma, like you're an adventurer going to find this thing that's hidden away, and it probably end up not like. So I'm building this system, and I don't know why I keep doing this to myself because I should stop. But I'm building a system that I want to write a bunch of games in, so I can stop writing new systems every time I make a game. Like I would like to make a single system,
one unified system. Yeah.
That I just went, okay, this is the system. It'll be a multiverse because I just can't exist in a single universe.
That's boring.
And I can't explain to you why there are dragons over here and like regular human beings over there. And I'm not going to explain it to you. Just assume like if DC can do a multiverse and Marvel can do a Marvel, I can do whatever the hell I want. It's a multiverse. Yeah. The rule, like it's what is the planes in Dungeons and Dragons, like don't. Okay, I can do it. You can't stop me. But it'd be more like a questy thing, like, hey, we dropped you in the middle of this forest. You have to go find this thing, or hey, I went to go find this thing because X, Y, Z reason. And then you could go on adventures, and it'd be like plot quest lines and stuff. I love making NPCs and quest lines. I am like a firm believer in you should talk to every single person that has a name. Because I promise you, I wrote a dialogue for them.
I love that.
If I have too many dialogue boxes. I have this whole separate software for dialogue trees.
Oh my goodness, though.
I have one for dialogue trees. I have a separate software for managing inventory and items that you get, and I have one for branching story paths.
Oh my gosh!
And so then Google Docs.
That's fantastic. That's legit though. I love that. Like, how do you go about managing mechanics? Like, what do you do to consider like what system to use? How do you balance
every time I look at a system, I literally go, can I play it in Pathfinder? If the answer is no, I go, can I make Pathfinder? Can I make it be working in Pathfinder? No. Can I take parts of Pathfinder and make it do the thing that I want? Yes. And I just took cannibalizing Pathfinder until I get where I want to be.
Really?
It's mostly the character creation part.
Okay.
So, like the mechanics don't
wild to me.
Like literally, I go, can I make this character in XYZ game? And the answer is yes or no. And it's like, okay, I made the character in this game. Does it fit the rules? Because the thing about mechanics is mechanics aren't attached to anything. You can just steal mechanics and put them in anything. They don't matter. Yes, sometimes I have you roll dice. Sometimes I have cards. I have too many goddamn cards. Sometimes you have both of them.
Yep.
It's just like, what do I need to what do I need to have you tell the story that I'm thinking of in my head if I haven't written an adventure? Like if I wrote it, because like I do two things I want to say specifically. Okay. There's writing a system, which, like, for example, it's dangerous to go alone, take this. It's technically just a system. It is just mechanics. Like, there's no plot to that. It's just like, hey, your GM has stuff in their bag. They send you on an adventure. That is the entire mechanic of the game. Okay. Everyone implies the story because of the title, but it's not there.
At all. Like, at all.
Like, I feel like someone played it and they did it in Animal Crossing. Or was that
That's
you?
Wonderful.
Where you watch up on the beach, and then Tom Nook finds you and says, "Hey, help me build this town center."
I want to play that.
I forget who played. They played. I feel like during Gen Con.
Oh my goodness! I want to play that now.
But yeah, like it works. It literally works with you're in any place, and someone you're with has stuff in their pocket. What adventure can you go on with the stuff in your pocket? That's the entire mechanic of that game.
That's so good.
But I also sometimes write adventures where it's just like, hey, these are the NPCs you meet, these are the quest lines that you meet, these are the items that you'll get from this place. Like, I have a thing that's called Silverburn and Aaron Croc's Academy. Because I wanted to do a hero adventuring school where I got to name things. And mostly it's because I wanted to name things, and they were really good names. In fact, I'm going to go find my list of good names.
You're setting up an expectation. These better be
really good names. They're the best names. Is it open? Yes, it is. Okay. It is. Actually, I renamed the document Fast Times It. Nice. But the note for this game can. Oh, wait, come on. Go over there. Actually, no, that was a bad mistake. Okay. The note for this is what if I cannibalized 5e, Pathfinder, and Quest? Like, it's literally the subheading on this file. I was like, what if I took the things and then like just shoved the parts that I like? Like, I don't believe in reinventing the wheel. If someone's already done the math for me, I'm not going to do it again. In fact, there's another game. You should definitely be allowed to have a mech. Everyone should be allowed to have a mech. In fact, even if your mech is just a metapod, a metabee. Metabots.
Okay, can we talk about Metapods for a hot second?
Yes.
What was that show?
Because I love it. I love it.
I really remember it.
I love Metabots. Metabots is this kid finds a robot in the trash and fixes it, and it starts fighting with said robot. There's another show. What's that other show? There's a Clamp show that has the same plot line, but with girls. With a little robot, and she has like the.
Showbiz?
Clamp. No, not Chobits. Chobits, okay. No, Chobits has no fighting. Chobits has weird incest.
I didn't think so. Yeah. Okay. I mean, Clamp was by the same people that did XX Holic and Cardcaptors, right?
They do Cardcaptor Sakura. They do Tsubasa. They do drugs and something. They do if it has weird relationships with your parents and then the kids together. It's probably they did Magical Knights of Reyes, was the giant robot show from like the 80s, where 3 girls get giant robots that are color coded blue, green, and red. Clamp did a lot of things. What else has Clamp done? But the important part, sorry, I made a joke about incest because literally the mom and dad in Cardcaptor Sakura are like they're not related, but then the mom's best friend is in love with the mother, and then their best friend is Madison, who is Sakura's best friend, who's also in love with Sakura. They did the same thing at a younger generation.
Yeah.
And there's a point where one of the teachers is like literally dating a child who is a middle schooler in the show, and no one thinks it's weird. There's a bunch of weird shit in Clamp that I just, like, as an adult, I'm like, I don't really get it. Like, the part where Errol, who's like,
uncomfortable with this.
Yeah, it's like Errol, who's actually Master Cloud, comes in and pretends to be a child and falls in love with Sakura. Like, he's actually an adult. He's in a kid's body, but he's an adult. He's several hundred years old again. Like, he might also be like your great-great-grandfather. I don't really know because no one's really explained how your dad had the book in his basement. Like, where did it come from? Supposedly it's a family heirloom, so how did it get down there?
Right. Some of these questions might deserve some answers. Gosh,
just a couple of them. Okay, so let me see if I can find my book list. Okay, so here's the class list. The first class list is called What Not to Touch, Magical Tombs and Artifacts for Beginners. Fantastical Beasts and How to Fight Them, martial combats for all classes.
Oh my goodness.
Followed by Catch These Hands, unarmed combat.
Yes.
Adventuring 101, how to read the map. So if you want to enter the dungeon, dungeoneering for beginners. Sing the Song of Our People, Tales of Greatness, which is obviously the bards.
Yep.
Fantastical Beasts and What to Feed Them, How Not to Get Eaten. Watch These Hands, Not My Face, Running the Long Game. A Brief History of Gardening, The World Tree and All Its Branches.
That's wonderful.
Like, I have like a whole like document full of just random book names. I'm gonna put this somewhere, which is how this game became. It's like, I have these classes that I want someone to teach, and I don't know how to do it. So I built a game that is currently 23 pages and not done. It's 23 pages of maps and NPCs, though, not actually plot. There's like no plot here. There's a whole page. There's like 3 pages of random encounters and plot hooks. Metabots was great. Metabots was.
When I saw that in the list, it brought me back. I'm like, I think I watched that. Like, it was right up there with like weird ass anime, like Zoid.
I love Zoid's Chaotic Century. In fact, I was just talking about someone about how Chaotic Century isn't anywhere online. Like, if you want to buy it, it doesn't exist. If you want to watch it online, because like the thing about Zoids is it's currently still airing. Like, there's currently a Zoid series on the air because they sell toys.
Oh my god, the market.
They're the reverse of Gundam, basically. Gundam, well, kind of. They're Bandai's. They're the Bandai's like model robot things. Here, speaking of model robots, don't fall. Like, I would have them, but they're so hard to get in America. Like Gundams are easy. Zoids are hard. Because it wasn't big in America. But like, I don't.
It did not take off here. My friends made fun of me for watching it.
I loved Chaotic Century. One of the reasons I read fanfic as a child was because of Zoids. The only reason why I know that one Waiting for Tonight by Jennifer Lopez is because of Zoids fanfic. Because someone used it as like a dance scene in a fic, and it's burned into my memory. Same thing with Eve 6 Here's to the Night. There's an AMV to it. It's burned into my mind.
AMVs, yep. Oh my goodness, that's marvelous.
If you can find Chaotic Century and New Centuries, I will literally, like, Raven is like, so I joke about this on like my main account, not my dev account, but I have terrible taste in men. I don't know why I keep making these choices, because they're all emotionally unavailable and or traumatized in one way or shape or another, or they're just assholes, or they're just straight up assholes. And I'm like, why? It's like I try to like think about like what caused this to happen. I'm like, I like think back to my childhood. Like, I have no idea, but like I'm thinking every person I've ever had a crush on, including Tommy in Power Rangers, was an asshole at some point.
Power Rangers. Yeah, like, no, that does further prove your point. Thank you.
It doesn't get better. Like, at no point has it ever been like, I want someone. It's like, it's not even like I personally want to fix them. No, they're fine. I think they're fine.
And then Norman in chat calling you a Hisoka. Hunter x Hunter.
Okay, so
that's crossing a line.
No, actually, I don't like Ahsoka, actually, because he's a fucking clown.
Yeah, in a lot of ways that are not okay.
Like, actually, to be fair with Hunter x Hunter, I don't actually watch Hunter x Hunter or read the manga. I did, for the same reason that I no longer read JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, because every time I talk about it to its fans, I want to punch them in the face in not a fun way.
Passionate.
And they're loud about it, and I don't want to hear about it. I just want to tell you, like, there's certain shows that I watch just to watch them. I don't need your like 10 million fan theories about it.
That was me, Hunter x Hunter. I just thought it was a neat show about kids fighting each other. That's my jam.
Literally just like, I'm Marge Simpson with that potato. I just think it's neat. Yeah. And they get intense about it. I'm like, you know what? Never mind. I'm done. I quit. I don't want to be involved with this. That's how I feel about My Hero Academia now. Because like I said, I'm not currently caught up. Because I stopped watching after Stain. I kept up like for a little while. No, I kept up for a little while. I stopped watching and I started reading, and then I caught up with the manga, and I just never went past that. Like, I got all the way up to the part with touchy guy who disassembles things. I don't know anyone's names. He had the bird mask and the little kid.
He had a very cool name.
Bird dude. He has a bird top, and he doesn't want touching.
Specifically, like the
The Death Plague mask. Yeah.
No, I mean, if you watch My Hero Academia, you know who this is. I need somebody to overhaul.
It starts with a C and it's like S in it somewhere.
Isn't it
it's
overhaul?
like Chizaka or something like that.
Oh, so close.
The problem I have with a lot of things, and this isn't just anime and manga, is if I read their names, I don't know how to say the word. Like I can't figure it out. Like I know the combination of letters.
Conversation of the English language.
Yes, but it's not even English language. That's literally I just can't.
Well,
I don't trust myself.
Though. Okay.
I can't trust myself that I know how to pronounce the combination of letters that I'm looking at because who knows what it could be?
Yeah.
Is that I silent? Is that chi or ki? What's happening here?
No, that's very real.
So I just don't bother. I learn the combination of letters that make up someone's name and go, yes, these symbols mean this person. Let me see. Oh, I was looking up clamp robot, small robot anime. To tell you the thing that was like Metabots that's not Metabots. Yes, angelic layer, and apparently it is clamp. Okay, I was like, maybe it's not clamp. But yeah, it was, and you see the little girl from Angelic Layer, Yakai Chisaki. Thank you. Listen, for years I didn't know how to say Hermione's name. Like I didn't understand that, and I did not learn how to say her name until I was in college when I read A Winter's Tale.
Really?
Because I don't watch the movies. I have a hate boner for the Harry Potter movies prior to J.K. Rowling being J.K. Rowling. It has everything to do with Warner Brothers and bad casting choices. Well, bad at the time casting choices, but
no, that's legit. But as we're kind of like nearing like our hour mark, is there anything like you want to let us know about like that we could purchase on Itch? Like what games you have available there?
Yes. So two things. Well, I can go check and make sure it's actually like not hidden before I say this. Obviously there's Magical Girls and Mecha, but there is also, so actually no, there's three things. I'm currently running a game jam called Turn-Based Tactics Jam, the second raid. This is a direct reference to Full Metal Panic, second raid, because Full Metal Panic, again, giant robots, weirdly inappropriate, but kids going to war and no one thinks it's weird. Boys named Sasuke who have emotional trauma issues.
Chuck and Chuck.
Like, come on. Also, St. John, like, okay, so there's a character in X-Men whose name is St. John. He's the flaming kid who turns on fire, Pyro's actual name.
Oh, okay. That was his name.
And someone said his name one time and it was like French sounding. I was like, wait, what? Apparently he's like French, and I'm like,
huh. I was anyway, like, I watched the cartoon of X-Men.
Well, I like the cartoon, but like I feel like apparently in the writing, he's like his character is like from from Louisiana or something. Okay, I don't really.
Gambit.
Yeah, and Gambit says things. I'm like, I don't know what you just said. Like, and it's just you. It's just you. What? No, it's St. John. It's literally no. This is like Houston and Houston. And I refuse to get into you weird people from Texas.
That is okay. What else do you have on your Twitch or on your itch.io?
So on itch.io, I'm running Turn-Based Tactics Jam. In fact, let me just put that in chat because you should join my game jam.
Link in because I think we have like our link block on. But even if you want to put it in our Zoom chat, I think I have the rights to be able to put it in the.
Okay, so this is the chat for Turn-Based Tactics Jam. It runs for the month. You have 22 days left to make a game that is turn-based tactics. And turn-based tactics games are literally think Pokemon, think Final Fantasy, everything before they got rid of the good system, particularly 12 and or Tactics Advanced. Actually, no, not 12. Tactics Advanced, and I never played 8. I only played Crisis Core. I'm a bad Final Fantasy fan. I played like 3 of them, and then I played 14, and that's it. They got all the money that they're getting from me is from 14 and 7, like all of it. But the other thing is I also have a game called, obviously, Magical Girls and Mecha, which you can buy. I have a pre-order for the, how do I describe it? This, like the system that is the game. So Magical Girls and Mecha specifically is a Discord-based play-by-post game.
Wonderful.
It's just like, hey, it's like, imagine like the old live girl chat comms, but done like the role-playing communities with a bunch of channels and you pick a character and you play the character. It's exactly like that, but meant for Discord. It's voice-based if you'd like it to be, but you don't have to do it in voice. Like most of it can be done in text chat. If not, oh darn it, I pressed the unit converter button. So there's that, but there's also, I'm also writing like a actual like traditional dice rolling character game, but that takes a lot of time and money, and I keep buying art instead of doing work.
Oh gosh.
So
it's hard not to sometimes.
But I'm also in 2023, which I know sounds a really long time from now, and putting out a game called Ascent of Crystal Tower. It is a day on a page. It's a planner game. It's a game in which you play the game. It's a solo game where you play it in a planner. There's basically an adventure for every day. I'm looking for it on my desk.
Oh my goodness.
And it keeps going. Where the heck is it?
That sounds so lovely, though.
But I hit 2023 because it's gonna take me. I have to write literally 365 adventures. But not solo adventures, but like adventures. Like I want to make a story, a story last 365 days. This is my little notebook that I'm writing it in.
Oh, it's so cute.
If you can see my little, no, you can't because it's not focused and I can't.
It's either a llama or a cat holding a heart, and I love it.
It's a cat holding a heart. But you see my little goal, 2023.
2023.
That's the goal. I'm gonna put it up for playtest. Oops, you're gonna see my face super close. Sorry, because I don't have autofocus on because it gets mad at me. But I'm putting it for playtesting in 2022. So look out for that, and then following me playtesting it at least 3 times to make sure you can get through the whole thing. But yeah, like imagine if you're playing Final Fantasy 14, there's Crystal Tower in 14. It's actually, I feel like this is a bunch of games. The Crystal Tower, the people who made the metal robots live in the past and then they all died out. It's in a bunch of Final Fantasy games. It's like one of their things. Mm-hmm. It's sort of like that, but also like, do you know the anime Magi? There's a Sinbad anime, and it's a spin-off of Sinbad anime where he's a genie.
Yes, I've seen it on Netflix.
Yes, so that anime, there's a tower in that thing. Like it's kind of like one of my favorite modern animes is what's wrong with hitting on girls in dungeons? I can't remember what Don Machi's actual name is.
Yeah.
Is it wrong to hit on girls? I have it, but I never remember. I used to call it Don Machi all the time. Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? That's the question. Which is hit and miss. For various reasons. Mainly, oddly not the main character, not the main romance character in that. It's just the girl who's his goddess who wants him to like her, but he doesn't seem to understand because, oh, you're my goddess. Of course I like you.
Yeah.
He's a little like Bella's not like, but like in that show and like a bunch of shows that are like offshoots of that type of series, you have a character who's in a obviously a fantasy game, but not in Danmachi. It's like a regular universe, but it's like an endless dungeon. That just keeps going, and just supposedly adventurous, like whoever gets to the top, like wins, but nobody ever got to the top, or whoever's ever gotten to the top in the series, no one's ever heard from them ever again. It's just like a giant mystery what's up there. Nice. So in this game, you're an adventurer who's like, okay, I'm gonna try for Crystal Tower. I'm gonna make the attempt to ascend Crystal Tower. You're not gonna get to the top. I'm just gonna tell you that straight up. Like it is an endless dungeon. It's designed to be endless. You will learn that very quickly as you play the game. That no, it literally. The floors lie to you. They are not numbered.
I like that.
Yes, they're going to pick up girls in dungeons. I adore that show. In fact, I'm waiting for season 2 to be finished or season 3 to be finished.
So you can binge it?
So I can just watch it all in one. Yeah. I can't watch shows. I need One Piece ruined me. Truly ruined me.
When you have 900 plus episodes to watch, No, never ends.
That's not even how they did it. I didn't watch One Piece. I watched One Piece and I stopped watching One Piece, and then I picked it up again. I picked it up again during Crocodile. I watched the beginning and I got to Crocodile, and I watched everything from Crocodile up to flipping past the time skip.
Okay.
And to Death of Rose or whatever it's called, where they meet Sanji's family.
Yep.
I stopped. I was there. And literally, it's the episode where you meet the girl he hits on, with the flower Rosa or whatever I think her name is, and there was no more episodes. And they're like, "Oh yeah, wait till next week." And I went, "What do you mean next week? I've previously had." What do you mean? What is this waiting you're talking about?
List. Yeah.
What is this waiting you're talking? So I stopped watching till I have another 300 episodes to catch up on.
Hey, you're getting there. They're in a completely different arc now. They're on Wano.
They are. That's right. Originally, I was waiting for the arc to be finished.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it, but like COVID happened, so I didn't do it, which is funny because you'd think with COVID I had more time, but I don't.
Right? It's still happened the opposite for most people. Weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sounds like we're struggling.
So I'm behind. I need to watch season 3, but I don't watch any of the side stories because I tried to read the manga for the side stories for What's Wrong with Picking Up Girls in Dungeons, and while it was interesting, I didn't care.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't bad. I don't like.
That,
All right.
that happens.
But yeah, that's what I have. So I have Magical Girls in Mecha, obviously the actual series system for Magical Girls in Mecha, which you can currently pre-order. And if you pre-order it, or I occasionally talk about it on my coffee page when I like do weird things. I'll like screenshot it, not screenshot. I'll scan it because I have 2 printers in my house because I write everything by hand, so you get to decipher my actual notes with my little drawings on them and like the color coding that I do because I have 10 million
markers and pencil crayons and
whatnot. But here's the thing about for me at SAO and Sword Art Online. I like Sword Art Online up until the point in which they meet the girl who's the glitch in the game, and I don't care because they start playing house.
Yeah, that's quite literally what the show became.
And then I like whatever, which apparently happened way sooner in that show than I realized. But I actually like the blue-haired chick with the gun. Like I liked her more than the main character because he's designed to be a stock character. Like that's the whole thing. Like he's not a real person. He's a video game protagonist. He has no backstory or interest or anything. Everyone else around him is the interesting part. But I haven't watched it because every time I think I'm like I don't want to watch it again and be disappointed. Like I don't want to be just
too.
Will I be by the gun grave?
I refused to watch that one. I heard just it was terrible.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's my own choice though. It just didn't work for me. Like the OG SEO didn't work, so I wasn't willing to make that commitment.
I like not isekai. I like isekai anime, but I like more the the fantasy thing. Like I like Dot Hex Sign.
Yeah.
I like Dot Hex Sign. Is it Serial Experiment Lane that I'm thinking about? I know that traumatized me as a child. I shouldn't have watched that one. Too many questions about whether we're dead or alive in that show. What is being alive? What is being alive? What does this all mean? Especially in a digital world, when you die, you still exist. But yeah. I'm looking at I have Log Horizon and Shield Hero, Rising the Shield Hero somewhere around here.
Nice. You do like your isekai.
I do.
However, we are at the hour mark. So if folks want to follow you, where can they do so? How can we support you?
So you can find me on Twitter because I live on that bird app. I apologize. Actually, I don't apologize. I'm never going to apologize for my Twitter presence and existence. It's been 13 years to get used to it. But you can follow me on Twitter. I'm going to throw the link. I'm mcatterdev on Twitter. That is my game dev account. You can find quite easily my not game dev account because it's in my pinned tweet if you want to follow me for literally everything else, which is anything that ever crosses my mind. Like the fact that I've seen 63% of every film Guy Ritchie's ever made, which means I've only not seen 3 of his movies, 1 of which is swept away, 2 of which haven't come out.
Weird personal choice.
Listen, I love rock and roller, and I will fist fight anyone. He's on my list of people to fist fight if I ever meet in real life, because you promised me a movie and didn't give it to me. Like the physical words you wrote. I'm only doing Sherlock Holmes to make money to make real rock and roller. Where's the movie yet, sir?
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. However, Tabletop Otaku is powered by Origins Game Fair. This September 30th to October 3rd in Columbus, Ohio. We will be joining thousands of amazing gamers in person and online. If you want to find out more information, head over to originsgamefair.com. It's going to be fabulous, safe, and full of fun.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Imani.
No problem. I appreciate it.
I'm just happy I got to talk about manga for a while. That was cathartic for me. So thank you.
Yeah, no. Listen, I can also. Oh wait.
Oh my god! Don't drop anything. Oh, that's beautiful.
It's just on my wall. I look at it every day.
Oh my goodness, that's inspirational.
I think it's like artist tagged on here. I don't know. It might be on the back of it. But I got it at the end of the festival. It's like, yes. I also want to make this game. I want to make this specific magical girl weightlifting. Like, do you ever see that picture? We can talk about this later. We can talk after this.
Yes. Until then, everybody have a fantastic night. And if you want to follow Imani, you can do so at MCATTERDEV. Thank you and have a great night.
Good night.